All right, and we're back. So I just wanted to upload a quick video in regards to numerology. Just a brief introduction, or my version of an introduction to it for you all. And this is again for my people who are seeking, my people who are wanting to, have knowledge of self, grow in knowledge of self. This is all your science, my people, from the numerology to the astrology. Keep in mind that they saw these astrological signs, also from the Dogon. There's a book called Secrets of the Dogon. Brother Panic, if anyone knows who that is. By the way, I'm going to be mentioning my sources where I get this stuff from, or the teachers that I've learned this stuff from, because student teacher, right? Student first always, but teacher as well. Each one teach one, each one learn from one. Each one learn from one first is one of my primary mottos I use, or tenets I use, because we're gods, we're chaos beings. Change it as you see fit, but always make sure you're evolving, right? So, without further ado, a lot of where I got my numerology from. Oh well, let me stick on subject. Yeah, Science of the Dogon, I believe. Yeah, that Dogon book I mentioned. Brother Panic. If anyone knows who Brother Panic is, he's an awesome metaphysical brother. Very raw, very uncut. Straight. A lot of times straight to the point. Just a dope metaphysical brother. If you all do not know who he is, I do encourage you. He's not for the faint of heart, though. He may not be for beginners, so you gotta, for all intents and purposes, you just gotta bear with it. And by bear with it, it's a lot of, for all my spiritual people who still feel that spirituality is not about cussing, or, you get spiritual by the amount of green veggies you eat, which, I'm a vegan, so I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying, it's bigger than that, my people. The biggest, and for anyone who's pre-conscious about melanin knowledge, the melanin woman is God, and we as melanin men coming from that divine womb and being gods in our own right, by the way, are that by default. So I don't want to get on a long tangent. As I said, y'all, bear with me. These messages will get a little bit more organized as I get more used to doing this, conversing with you all. But to the subject of numerology, this book right here, Numbers in You, is an awesome book that I learned from. And by the way, numerology, numbers came before everything else. Numbers carry some of the, if not one of the highest vibrations ever, because numbers are eternal. Numbers don't lie. For instance, I was born on the 14th, right? So the number 1 is a symbol of Leo. The number 4 is a symbol of Uranus. And the reason I mentioned the Dogon is because the Dogon people were a tribe of our people who gave these colonizers they didn't technically give them, because some of these colonizers, they gave them the most updated version of everything. And I say that, I'm not taking credit from the Dogon, because not only that, but they stole so much of our science that it's certain parts that, they quote unquote rediscover, but they already had. They have a lot of our stuff at the Vatican, at at the White House, and various other places of that nature. But I don't want to get flagged and stuff of that nature for telling the truth, as most, I guess, as truthers, as they're called, normally are. So I'll be cautious what I say, but I'll still speak the truth to you, my people, because the revolution will not be televised. Always remember that. True words in that. Rest in peace to the power, to the God, Huey P. But leader of the Black Panther Party, for those who didn't know, before it was infiltrated, because that was the honest to goodness movement on our people, amongst many others, who paved the way for brothers like me, brothers like yourself, goddesses and gods like us to still keep that energy going. But yeah, the Dogon gave these people, these colonizers, their updated versions of the zodiac signs. And by the way, we're in a new age, the age of Aquarius, so the zodiac signs have actually changed. So all of our children that are being born now, all of our ancestors come back, and ancestors that have returned back, and the gods and goddesses of this new age and this new paradigm, or the rainbow children, as they were called in the Hopi prophecy, are here, and they're under totally new zodiac signs. So that's why they may not act the same as other zodiac signs, but that's for another conversation. Moving forward, though, this stuff has been on the Egyptian walls, on the Kemetic walls, on the walls here in Atlantis, or Turtle Island, as it's called. It's so much more that I can go on with about my people, but just to stick to the point, these books I recommend, these are by melanin people, by the way, people who carbonated beings who, you know, are tapping back into our ancestral knowledge and, you know, giving it, regurgitating it back to us as a people, because you already have all this. All this is within you. These colonizers, they're just giving you stuff that we already did. They have nothing new. So I just want to put that out there. All this is your science. It's new age. Oh, you know, you're a light worker. You're all of that. You're a light worker. You're a dark worker. You know, you are the balance of the light and the dark. Always keep that in mind, my people. Don't fall into the picking sides. Embrace both aspects, because you have negative thoughts, don't you, as well as you have positive thoughts. So just like the zodiacs, you have positive aspects of the zodiac, and then there are lower forms, you have negative aspects of the zodiac that can come out. So, and you're made up of three. It's not just your sun sign, or basically the surname, the last name, your quote unquote masculine father's last name, that, or, you know, these days masculine, feminine, you know, because some of y'all, I get it, we may have not all had fathers in our lives to get that last name from, but neither here nor there, because it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. Always remember that, champ. Yeah, it's a sign that everyone knows you by. So for instance, September 14th, that's Virgo, right? But if you look at my chart, you're made up of three things. All good things come in threes. This is knowledge our ancestors already knew, or some of the basic good things come in threes. You have your sun sign, you have your moon sign, and you have your rising sign. And you find that out by knowing the time of your birth. Now, there are ways that you can, if you didn't, you know, because mind you, even don't, I really will be cautious about the birth certificate. Ask, you know, the first goddess that you first see when you come into this world, from that divine portal, that divine triple darkness male in the womb, which is your mother, your Marjorie, right? Ask your Marjorie what time you were born, or ask the grandmother or your guardian what time you were born. Don't trust per se. Not to say, you know, if it's accurate, it's accurate, but don't trust per se these doctors. Don't. I wouldn't do that. And I say it because for my particular siblings, they got their times wrong, just, you know, jotting it, because these people don't care about us, my people. I mean, but I don't want to be negative. I want to give you solutions. I want to give you evolution. I want to state the obvious that we already know. You know, with this carbon vessel comes responsibility. You know, every day we got to fight. So, you know, but the good news is that we win the fight, because the colonizers always lose. Everyone who comes to the opposition of the original beings always will lose. Always remember that, my people. But yeah, so yeah, they got my siblings' time wrong, they got my time wrong, but thankfully I had an awesome modulator and an awesome padre who you know, did, well, specifically my modulator as well, who did remember the time and everything. I include and respect both aspects. I don't just give credit to the feminine, you know, although, you know, nothing starts and comes to life without that feminine energy. You know, the masculine plants the seed, but the feminine energy is that water, that divine water that allows it to grow, right? But moving forward, though, yeah, so these zodiacs are ancient and as old as, you know, not as old as us, but, you know, just as ancient and old and everything. So this stuff isn't just something that Greeks, who were also as the Mesopotamians, the Samaria, Lemuria, Atlantis, that was all us, all the way to Nubia, what's known as Africa, that was all us, which is actually, Africa's name is Nubia, not Africa. But, you know, I don't want to get into Ebonics like that, or, you know, flex or who has the best knowledge. That's not what this is about, right? But moving forward, this brother, Lloyd Strayhorn, has done numerology books for people like celebrities that, you know, some of us listen to, right? Like Erykah Badu and numerous other brothers and sisters. He's, you know, done tons of work to help regurgitate and rebring to life these ancient sciences of our people, and you can use them casually. So for instance, I'm a number 14, but numerology is basically adding everything together and summing it up and making it into one concise thing. So, but taking into account the parts that made up that thing. So for instance, your zodiac, your sun sign is, my sun sign is Virgo, but what also makes those parts up is my moon sign and my rising sign. And Cafe Astrology and other sites are good sites to go to once you know your actual correct time. Cafe Astrology and other sites, you know, it's pretty easy to go to. Just put in your time and bada bing, bada boom, right? I can read charts, but I'm not reading charts. You know, if you happen to find this video and you would like a pointer or two, I have plenty of videos saved on my channel to, you know, zodiac videos, and I'll be adding a plethora of more. You know, this is just going to be increasing. But just to give you an example of myself, I have a Virgo sun, a Leo moon, and a Gemini rising. And with that being said, you see how that's one part, but, you know, there's two other parts, and, you know, you have all 12 in you. You know, your goal is to use all this, because all this is just descriptions of the god or goddess that is you. You get what I'm saying? I wouldn't, these are just, how would I put this? These are just tools, if you will, or energies, if you will, that you chose that will help you, if you allow it to teach you about yourself. That's it. Nothing. Well, it could be a far more. You can use these in your alchemy, your magic, but I want to, I do care about all my people, so I want to scare away the Christians and the ones who are still on the religious fence about Caucasian Jesus and all Serapis Christus, as he's called. But I want to knock you, I embrace all my people because, we all didn't start off, well, some of us did awaken out of the womb, but, some of us, it could take some time for us to awaken more than others, and that's okay, so long as you're making that progress. And just like the Afro Samurai, you put one foot forward in front of the other and keep moving forward. If you haven't watched the anime, it's a dope anime. Displaying plenty of knowledge about our people. Anyway, though, moving forward, Brother Louis Strahan, awesome book to read. Numbers in You, very short, very concise, straight to the point type of a book. And to give you an example, my number being the number 5. The number 5 is Mercury energy. Virgo is also a symbol of Mercury energy because it's a negative aspect of Mercury. Now, just because that says negative doesn't mean it's necessarily negative. Negative and positive are just two poles of the same energy, and the goal is to, again, balance the two, right? So 5 is a symbol of Mercury energy. 5s are very prone to their vices. It's a kind of a physical number. 5 is also a symbol of the 5th element, and it's also the number of balance. Also, to give you just a short thing, whenever numbers are curve is a resemble of the feminine nature of that number, and straight lines resemble the masculine perspectives of that number. So, for instance, when you have those who have the number 8, let's just say someone was born on the 17th, that's 8 energy. 8 is a symbol of Capricorn. You see how it all connects? So 8 is a symbol of Capricorn, just like 5 is. And Capricorn rules what? The Saturn. Or excuse me, Saturn was the ruling planet of Capricorn, the Saturn planet. And also you have Mercury, and by the way, these deities and these are energies, rather, because these are energies just like you. You're a deity. That's why I call you a god or gods. You are no different than them. They have vices. You have vices. They may like whiskey as offerings. You like whiskey on any given Friday. You get what I'm saying? Kicking it with your family or your friends or whatnot. So I don't want to have it to where these things seem so omnipotent, because you're omnipotent. I'm just as above, so below. That's all this is. I don't ever want to take it out of context that, these energies are over you or they rule over you. You rule over you first and foremost. These are just guys that you chose or guys that you were brought down here with, because some of y'all, y'all was hard-headed up there, so y'all had to come down here, or vice versa. You chose to come down here to help the hard heads out. So, or, you might be in between. Again, we're chaos beings who, there's a plethora of other options of the reason you're down here. I'm just saying, some basic tools. But, yeah, his student, Brother King Simon, awesome, dope metaphysical brother. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. An awesome book. Personally, these books are good to have, well, again, I don't get no bonus for doing this. I'm just showing you what I read, and hopefully it helps you. This book, if you just want to learn the basics, awesome book. You don't need about probably anything but this book if you just want to learn the basics, because the basics, you can look up some of this stuff on the internet and things of that nature, but I will be cautious because as you can see, the system is coming down. For those of my people who already know about the Hopi prophecy, the Mayan prophecy, the Ethiopian prophecies, and various other prophecies of our people that we roll on the walls telling these sons of biscuits that they going down. It's going down, and it's happening in real time. Make no mistake, my people, 2020 is a real 2012. When Pope Gregory made this Gregorian calendar, they set things back about 8 years or so. So I don't want to get, but sticking on subject, don't want to drop too much knowledge. Don't want to scare people off, right? Want to help y'all. I want to just bombard y'all with knowledge. But yeah, these two books, awesome metaphysical books, awesome things to read. And again, I'll probably give a more concise class, I'll give a more concise video of explaining and going a little bit more in depth in the numbers. But there are plenty of brothers and sisters who have already done that. King Simon is one of them. And there's various other more, and you can feel free to look on the save playlist on my channel. My bad, I'm looking at the scroll. It's interesting seeing other fellow creatures of nature. But yeah, you can feel free to look up these videos and see if they interest you and if they pique your interest. Learn and, you know, use this as a catalyst to grow about with the God or goddess that is you. Also, and by the way, I got all these book recommendations by this brother, King Simeon. And by the way, the Chaldeans, whenever you hear about Chaldean numerology, let me give y'all just a brief backstory about numerology. You got the Chaldean system and the Pythagorean system, which are the primary systems of numerology. Pythagoras, or the Pythagorean system, the person who made the Pythagorean system studied in Egypt, studied in Kemet, studied in Atlantis and various other places. Even the Hermes, I don't want to get his name wrong. I should probably have notes when I give these videos, huh? As again, bear with me, my people. I'm evolving just like y'all evolving. Hey, we just gonna keep it rolling. But the person who wrote the Pythagorean theorem is still based on our knowledge and our system. The Chaldeans were a group of melanin beings who lived and breathed numerology, because every one of us had our specialty. This was back when the continents were all one, and this was Turtle Island, or Mur, M-U-U-R as it was called. But, you know, again, not trying to drop too much knowledge in one video, because this video is 16 minutes already, and I know some of us have certain attention spans. Some of y'all are just beginning in this, and y'all be like, what, Atlantis? But hopefully this sparks, you know, memories in you, because your soul remembers this. You may not, but your soul does, if that makes sense. And, you know, your higher self does remember this. This I guarantee you, especially if you're a carbonated being. Or if you have that neuromelanin, because there's, again, 2 counts of melanin. There's a skin melanin and there's a neuromelanin. Neuromelanin is from that pineal gland, you know, that's an internal melanin. You know, a lot of our quote unquote light skin, as if you will call it, and really the biggest light skins are albinos. So if you're a quote unquote yellow boned, red bone, I mean, technically, are you really light skinned? I mean, there you have, you know, our Latino brothers and sisters who are lighter than you. So this whole light skin, you see the ignorance in it all, but it's not your fault, my people. It's not our fault. It's not our, excuse me, my voice. It's not our fault for the damage that was given to us. It is our responsibility, though, for us to move forward and right the wrongs that were done to us. That's all. But, you know, you can't, you know, excuse me, not you can't, you can do anything you want, but it's probably not advisable to beat yourself up about, you know, things that you can't control, you know. But now that you know, make that conscious effort to improve, to grow, to, you know, just be you, be great. And don't ask for permission, just do it. And, you know, you don't got to step on no one's toes. You don't got, you know, F over nobody. You can just be you and just be. Just as they say, melanin doesn't crack. You don't got, you know, you always realize that, but really it doesn't. You're just being, you're just in there, internal youth. This is one of the main gifts of this carbon vibranium suit, like that Black Panther suit, or I don't really like, but yeah, that carbonated suit that the Black Panther was wearing. That exoskeleton is us. I mean, you know, you're wearing that suit. You're just tapping into it through, you know, numerology, astrology, alchemy. You know, these are all various things to activate this melanin. You know, this suit does so much more than you can ever realize. And I'm telling you, because I do it all the time. I don't wear these crystals. I don't rock this Ankh. I don't, which is also a symbol of great life. If you look at this, shout out to Bro Yosef. He taught me this, or I learned this from him rather. If you look at the Ankh is a symbol and it balances the mind. But, you know, I don't wear these crystals, and these crystals are connected to your zodiac, connected to numbers. So, you know, so much to talk about, so much energy to give out. I don't really like saying time, because time is non-existent. By the way, Capricorn, Saturn is also called Father Time. He rules over the aspect of time. But these are just deities of mean names, because, for instance, Mercury, 5 energy, right? I'm a number 5. I was born on 1/4. 5 energy is associated with Mercury, but in other cultures of ours, Papa Legba is an example of Mercury. Thoth, the Egyptian god Thoth, is an example of Mercury. Tahuti, if you read the Necronomicon, is another, you know, gods of many names, just as you have nicknames, you know, Nunu, and to others you may be known as Nene, and so on and so forth. You know, that's really the same aspect. You're literally a deity that other, you know, deities or people may know nicknames about you, but you're a deity of many names. So I just want to bridge the gap, or, you know, that floor ceiling saying, I want to let you know that you're not too far from these deities. These deities are you. It's just you've only forgotten. And I'll leave it at that for now. But moving forward, though, that's really it. Feel free to get these books. Also, this is another great one, really good one. And again, gotta give credit to the brother King Simon for recommending me this. are recommending his brothers and sisters is this is a great one. It really helps. Like, to give a comparison, if this is a one that you will ever need, if you just want to dive in a bit and know basically have a great, if you will, plateau or a great point of a great ground to stand on, this will up that level and have you to go more in depth and raise that foundation to higher heights. I mean, both can. You can look at the internet and get this knowledge as well, but again, the way the system is going, I advise you, my people, get some books if you can. But moving forward, though, just to give a brief little introduction to numerology. So when I study these are not the books so far that I'm reading from, I'm coming from. Feel free, as you can see, I carry my books everywhere on me sometimes, because I be reading. I love knowledge. Mercury is also the symbol of the thinker. That where your Mercury is in your chart is how you think. Where your Mars, just drop some jewels to leave. Where your Mercury is, it for all those who look at your natal chart. Where your Mercury is how you think, your thought process. So if your Mercury is in Libra, yeah, you may be a Virgo sun, but you think like a Libra. My personal Mercury is in Libra, so I may be a Virgo sun, but I have the thought process like a Libra. And guess who's a Libra in my family? My father. So all this connects. Once you start learning, and this is just the basics. This is not getting to your alchemy, the stuff you can do with this carbon suit, this carbon vessel. I mean, my people. I mean, I'm not trying to kiss ass, but I mean, really, your Titan's walking. I mean, you are a walking X-Men, which was also based off us. Look this up. Stan Lee even admitted this. He was also I don't even want to say the J word, but he's a there are certain people, Rockefellers and this, that, and the third, but I don't want to get this thing flagged, but there are certain people who are the ruling, quote unquote, the powers that should not be. These people who get these big breaks to write these stories, these comics, these animes, they're all about you, my people. The X-Men, the Avengers, the Dragon Ball Z, that's all about you, my people. Predator is even all about you, my people. That's why I gave him locks. Predator. Nyan Total is a planet in the Sirius star system, but again, don't want to drop too much knowledge. We'll save some for later. Just wanted to give you a brief talk about numerology. Hopefully this sparks some memories, because this is all I'm doing, sparking memories. You gonna do the rest. I have full confidence in you. Look at me. I have full confidence in you. You'll do the rest. I'm just here to help, just here to remind. And you'll do the same to me, I'm pretty sure, in some form or another. You may talk to someone, that's how I like to think about, as a man thinketh, so is he. But for those of my people who know about the Bible and things of that nature, that hey, I'm awakened and not using the Bible for any other reason but reference points, although that is based off our knowledge as well, be a Gnosticism that was originally which was its original origin before it's the Christianity that today. And Zeus, even, well, I don't want to get into that. I don't want to offend no one of religions. It's not my goal. As I said, I love you, my people. I want to help as many as I can, and reach so many of you on so many different levels as best I can. So that's really all I have for now. Hopefully, again, this helps someone. Sending out favorable outcome vibes, sending out favorable vibrations to you all, sending out favorable evolutionary vibes to you. Catch them, evolve them, let you grow. And all right, thanks for listening. Oh, now, as always, all power to my celestial carbon beings. Peace to you all, my people.